Hello and welcome to another episode of FPL Expectations with me, Craig. I'm here, obviously, in freezing England. Storm Eunice has been kind to me so far. It hasn't affected the north, so all you Salah triple captainers, don't fret too much. I think you're safe, and I think the games are going to go ahead. It's been pretty okay up here compared to down south. As always, I'm not the only one doing the stream. I've got the ever reliable FPL Nitro with me. Nitro, how's it going from down under?
Yes, I'm in Sydney. It's my first show actually in Sydney. So it's new settings, everything. I've been settling in very nicely. And Craig, I remember when I met Craig, he kept hyping up Sydney, and so far is living up to expectations. So I'm very happy to be here and very excited to be back talking about FPL.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Sydney's a place I absolutely love. And yeah, when you told me you were moving to Sydney, I was like, I'll move there in a heartbeat. But yeah, I think the last show you did with us, you were just about to move. It was just before your flight, wasn't it?
A few hours it was the night before the flight.
Yeah. And that was a bit mad. But now it's good to see that you're all settled in. And I'm sure the FPL or the Premier League games are at an awkward time for you. Because it's about a 12-hour difference, isn't it, from the UK?
Yeah. And actually, I think the later games back in Malaysia, they're actually like when I get up in the morning about 7 or 8 o'clock. So I actually get to see some of the later games, which is kind of weird. I'm still getting used to it.
Yeah, definitely a lot to get used to. When obviously when all these announcements were being made last night, you must have been it was a bit early in the morning for you.
Yeah, I woke up in the morning. FPL, I have the FPL app on my phone, and I see 6 new matches added to game weeks 28 and 29. Are you kidding me, man? There's more to come.
Yeah, we're going to discuss all that over as we head towards the double game week 26 deadline. And yeah, I mean, we're going to take a look at your game week 25 first and see how you got on. It was a mini double game week. I didn't really get to speak to you before that, but we'll have a look at it and just see how you got on. And I'm not too sure how many United players you had. Doesn't seem like you had too many from the looks of it.
I've got triple United actually. If you can see, I've got De Gea in goal.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I didn't see Dallo there.
Yeah, De Gea in goal. He got the clean sheet, which we'll take. Dallo as well. He got the clean sheet. Yeah. I put the armband on Ronaldo because I don't have Fernandez. I was really hoping Bruno wouldn't score, and of course he had to score in the last minute, which it's really annoying because I was so excited. I saw Ronaldo score, and I was like, just hold on to that. And Bruno scored. He's the rank killer. So as you can see, despite I got 68 points, despite the pretty decent score, I dropped down not that much, small red arrow to 8K. Regulon and Cancelo didn't play, which was a bit annoying, but they made way for King and I believe Broja as well.
Okay.
Bowen, I mean, a lot of people own him, so it doesn't do much, and Trent as well. But overall, it's all right. I think the United players definitely did what they were supposed to do, so can't complain too much. But yeah, that was my game week 25.
Yeah, perfect, and happy with that. I mean, I know you were in the higher ends of right at the top of your ranks, and you're still in the top K, which isn't a bad achievement at all. But I mean, what are you? How are you feeling at this stage? Considering where you were maybe a couple of months ago.
It's definitely a bit of a fall from grace because I had like a really good streak of green arrows, and now it's just kind of like I'm struggling to find that groove. But I mean, I'm trying not to let it get to my head. It's just got to play your game. At the end of the day, it's just a game, right? And I enjoy the experience of it. Part of the experience of FPL is you got to take some L's, and this is I've taken a couple L's so far, so it's fine. Man. Now, with the streak of double game weeks, it's important that we stay focused and try to make the best moves that we can possible.
Well, that's it. There's so much opportunity for you, going into the next few weeks and planning your team. And we're going to dig in a little bit more to find out. We're going to check your game week 26 and see what transfers you made from 25, if you've made them already, and see what you're planning to do if you haven't.
Okay, so I haven't made any transfers. I've been tinkering on FPL for a lot of many times. Whenever I can, I just get on my computer and I check it out. But I've actually set up my team so that once I make my transfers, the players will be where they will need to be. As you can see, we got triple captain on Mo Salah. I will not be playing the wild card. I just think everyone in their dog is gonna captain Salah. So the fixtures are too good.
I mean, sorry to interrupt you. I mean that's a weird one, and I've seen people like Let's Talk FPL, Andy. I've seen Ben Krellin and all that throw this wild card about, and I mean, it's just incredible the two fixtures that Mo Salah has. I mean, it's just so tasty. Yeah. I mean, are you going to ever get a better two fixtures than that? I mean, I can't think of two better fixtures than that. And people are thinking of playing a chip in those game weeks. Like, it really baffles me. But I mean, they obviously know a lot better than me. So yeah, not saying your strategy is wrong, but I'm just trying to understand the thinking behind it.
Yeah. So I've heard the discussion from Andy and the rest of them. The wildcard discussion kind of came after the announcements of the doubles in 28 and 29. And to be honest, when I listened to it, I thought it's not a shabby shout, because if I had my wild card, I have a few players that I have in mind that I can bring in now, and then I don't really have to touch my team for a little while. I just have to worry about captaincy and worry about navigating the blank game weeks, especially 27, right? But I thought about it. In 27, I can field 9 from doing nothing. Without touching my team, I can field 9. Use my free transfer, and I got 10. And honestly, I'll take 10 players in a blank game week. That's pretty good, right? We take any player that plays. So then I can save my wild card for when I really need it, maybe for a bigger double game week down the road, maybe 33, 36, I believe, somewhere there. We're going to get another big one.
30,
gives us more time to plan.
It is the big double.
Which one was it?
36, I think.
Yeah, so I'm kind of hoping that's when I might have to pull it out. And it's just kind of nice to have that wild card as a safety net, kind of like what I did with the first half of the season, game weeks 1 to 20, where I had my wild card until game week 20, and then it was just a matter of using it. But yeah, more chips, more power, in my opinion. Some people will disagree, and I totally get it, completely fine. But as you said, Craig, I haven't had the best history with triple captaining, and Salah is arguably one of the best players in the league right now, and he's got the best fixtures, arguably, right now. So it just makes sense.
I mean, it's one of those where, if he were to blank, or whatever it is, everyone goes down with you. Yeah, I mean, you go down with everyone.
Yeah, it's not that's true. That's true.
So I mean, his EO is going to be through the roof. That's for sure. So it's not going to make a difference to your rank. Whether he bangs, whether he doesn't bang, it doesn't make a difference to your rank.
That's true. That's true. So, but if he does do well, then we reap the rewards as well. Yeah. And I think you may have mentioned this earlier, but I mean, the logic is there. The fixtures are good. He's back. He's in form. It just makes sense. Liverpool are one of the best attacking teams in the league. You just gotta do it.
Okay. Fantastic stuff. In terms of your game week 26 teams, what transfers did you say you made? Sorry.
Okay, so this is what the team's set up for.
Yeah.
I'm planning to make 3 transfers, 1 free transfer there. I'll be taking a -8, so I'll be doing De Gea to Ramsdale. That's my Arsenal defense. Reguilon is going to become Van Dijk. He's my 3rd Liverpool player, and then Jota is going to become Bukayo Saka. So that'll be a -8 there. I've gone for 2 Arsenal players because obviously the fixtures are good and they have another double, and the Watford fixture is pretty good too. And and Van Dijk. Okay, Van Dijk's a bit maybe not controversial, but it's between him and Robertson. Yeah. Robertson's got the better stats because he's a wing back. The attacking threat is there, but in terms of safety wise, Van Dijk is definitely a lot safer because I think Robertson's played quite a lot. He was rested, but maybe Tsimikas could come in and play. 2 games in short succession. So
yeah, I feel that as well. To be fair, I think Robertson is a bit of a risk, but I like Van Dijk's threat from set pieces. I think that's going to be big for you as well.
Yes,
with those deliveries and Tsimikas. I mean, even if he plays, he whips in a pretty good ball. To be fair to him, so
yeah.
I don't think Van Dijk's going to be short of service or anything like that. So good pick, definitely. I mean, I considered him as well. To be fair,
but Robertson's just as good. I just want to put it out there because it's between them two. It's a 50-50. For safety wise, I'm going with Van Dijk for now.
Okay. And Bukayo Saka hasn't really been in the form you probably like him to be going into this. But again, Arsenal have 2 decent fixtures, and you expecting a return or 2 from him?
I would hope so. And if anything, he's a bit of a long-term investment given Arsenal's fixtures, and also they have a double in 20. Is that 29? Yeah, 29. So I just hope, out of all the Arsenal midfielders, he is definitely the best. He does edge a little bit in terms of stats. Yeah. So we'll go for him since I have budget.
Okay, perfect stuff. So triple captain on Salah, taking a -8. Is there temptation to pull in another transfer? And I know we spoke about this off there. There is a bit of a temptation to pull in another transfer, isn't it, before the deadline?
Yeah, so I think if you follow me on Twitter, I've been asking all week because I just really was tempted to take a -12. And that 4th transfer would be Ronaldo to Lacazette. That frees up a lot of cash. Lacazette is honestly a pretty big differential, and I think he's kind of overlooked because he's one of Arsenal's only strikers right now after the departure of Aubameyang. He's on penalties. And
Martinelli's injured as well, isn't he?
Yes, Martinelli's injured. So, is he injured or is he
suspended? Suspended.
Suspended. Yeah. So either way, it's just all pointing towards Lacazette, and he's got pretty good stats in terms of goal involvement as well. So, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a return here and there. For now, I am not going to pull the trigger on the -12. But if Lacazette does return, fair play to whoever brings him in, including yourself, Craig. So if he does return, I'll be like, darn it, I considered him.
I pulled that one early. I'm not going to lie. That was very early on.
But I won't be surprised if he returns because he has that gut feeling. I think he's going to.
I'm bloody expecting him to.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be surprised. I'm expecting him to. All right. As we mentioned earlier, before that, so that's your team. Are you gonna tweet out your team closer to the deadline? I think this stream might take us to the deadline, or maybe just before. But you might be deciding that on here, and you might be doing your transfers live as well. So just be prepared for that. And if anyone's watching the stream, Nitro, we'll come back to this probably. We'll revisit this as we keep an eye on the clock. Let's move on. So we mentioned it just now. There were some big announcements yesterday, and it's probably announcements that we wanted to hear, but probably not at this time, when everything's getting so stressful with what's going on with the storm, and our game's going to go ahead. Is Robertson a rotation risk? Is Salah going to be rotated? The last thing we needed is 2 weeks of double game week announcements, but we had it, and I'm going to bring it up for you, Nitro, so it's a little bit easier. What do you make of it all?
Yeah, so we got a couple of teams that actually double twice in the span of 4 game weeks, including this one coming up. And those ones are definitely the ones to look out for. I've got my eye on Roman's side from
Wolves.
Because they doubled this game week. I can't bring him in, but it's not a bad 2 fixtures, but it's the 1 in 28 that looks pretty good. Wolves will play Palace and Watford at home. And Wolves have been pretty decent defensively. Size also has a pretty decent goal threat from a defender. So I'm going to be looking to bringing him in either 27 or 28, probably 28. But I think a lot of people are going to start bringing him in. So Wolves, definitely a team to look out for. Watford actually doubled twice as well. But knowing our history with Watford forwards, I'm not rushing to get another Watford attacker. I have King, so
I was just gonna just touching upon that. I mean, I think a lot of people, just because of the previous game weeks, might still have King or Dimis or even both. I mean,
yeah.
do you stick just because they have the double game weeks? I mean, we've seen they haven't been great under Hodgson in terms of attacking. But do you keep it? Do you stick it? Just because he's got a double game week, we'll keep the faith. I mean, it saves you a transfer, I suppose, but isn't effective, player in your team.
Definitely hold one last time for 26 because arguably the fixtures for this double game week is better than the one coming up. They play Arsenal and Wolves in 28. It's not as good as Villa versus Palace in 26. And I mean, you already have, if you have both, just hold them. It's 2 extra double game week players. And if they really disappoint, maybe it might be time to go in 28. But I would definitely hold for 26.
Okay, perfect. And some of the other fixtures that have been announced, just looking at it now in 28, obviously Wolves, you mentioned Watford, not in 28. Sorry, yeah, Watford in 28. Leeds, I mean, decent fixtures as well. Leicester, Aston Villa, Rafinha. I don't think we're going to be seeing Bamford back in time. I mean, that's been a big blow, isn't it, to FPL managers? Because he's kind of priced nicely, in that bracket where there's not a lot of quality anymore. And, he would have been, I would have assumed he would have been one of the main players in most forward lines. But he's been missing since September, October?
It's been a while. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, Rafinha is realistically the only attacking option from Leeds that you say. I mean, this game week, definitely not. But I mean, in 28, I mean, Leicester, who haven't been going great, Villa, who, you can see shipping a goal or two. And Rafinha is usually the heartbeat of everything, isn't he?
Yeah, and I think he's the only real asset from Leeds we would actually consider. Also, something to keep in mind is they do double twice. I actually wouldn't be against the idea of bringing him in now because if you look past 29,
yeah,
Leeds fixtures are pretty okay. They're not too bad. I know it's Leeds, but the fixtures are okay, so it's not a terrible idea.
Could be something to consider for 28, really.
Yeah.
I mean, so because they play in 30 as well, don't they?
Yes, they don't blank, so it's a very good pick as well.
So
Yeah.
probably avoid now. But I have to be fair. I mean, the teams that have been posted up in and around social media, you see a lot of Rafinha coming in. And I understand it's more of a long play than it is a current one. But okay, Leeds another one. Just scrolling down there, Arsenal obviously have another double game week. We mentioned that. We mentioned some of the assets you should be targeting there. Just scrolling down, Newcastle. Now Newcastle. All right. I mean, this is interesting because obviously they found a bit of momentum, they found a bit of form. But that double game week in 28 and 29, okay, 29 is a little bit tougher, but in 28, it's really, really tasty.
Yeah, it's back-to-back double game week, so they play 4 fixtures within that time. I think at the moment, the only person I've got eyes on is Alan Saint-Maximin.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Not really. Defensively, no, not really. Midfield.
Would you take a gamble on Chris Wood?
Oh, Chris Wood,
I mean, he hasn't been. He's been really off form. He's struggled for goals since he's moved there. But, I mean, he's one of those reliable strikers. Usually, I mean, in the history since he's been in the Premier League, you can always count on him for a couple of goals, and he should be priced pretty nicely as well. And is that a consideration? I mean, we know how effective Saint-Maximin is, and it's obviously the number one pick. But a couple of the others that you could have probably looked at, maybe Trippier was one. From a defense point of view, obviously you got 2 goals. Matt Target comes back into the side, missed the last one against Villa.
Yeah, I've completely forgot about Chris Wood, so thank you for mentioning that. I think I'm gonna need to see a little bit more. I think it's nice that the doubles come later, so we have the West Ham and the Brentford game to see.
Yeah.
I mean, he's definitely worth considering. Trippier is a pretty good consideration as well. He's on set pieces.
He's out
His
injured.
free kick was
England-esque.
It reminded me of the World Cup when he scored that.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep, against Croatia, wasn't it? When he scored.
Yeah, it was a good free kick. Definitely worth considering. I'm not a big fan of him. I'm not a big fan of bringing him in right now, but he's definitely worth considering.
He's injured. He's out for the season.
Trippier. Oh, because of his
metatarsal.
Oh no. Oh well. I guess.
Against Villa, he scored and then he came off later on in the match. So he's
that's a shame.
Yeah, he's just
that is a shame.
Operation. Yeah. So that's one guy that's out of it. So I think from a defensive point of view, I mean, Dan Burns did really well. Was he like 6'9" or something like that? So he should be a threat from set pieces. Matt Target, if you really want to. But I'm just looking at that midfield. Ryan Fraser looked really good against Villa. I'm just like you. I'm waiting to monitor those upcoming matches against West Ham and Brentford, and just see how this Newcastle team is shaping up. Because, like I said, they have picked up some form. There's some momentum there. I saw them against Villa. There is a threat. There's definitely a goal threat now. You know, in Maximan, you'll always get that. Chris Wood's a little bit off form. But I think it's one of those periods where he just needs a goal to kind of come off his bum or something like that, or just innocuously knock it into the back of the net. So yeah, if he gets a goal, I think he's good for a run. But Ryan Fraser, the forgotten man, he used to be a favorite for most FPL managers. Him and Callum Wilson, and kind of got off the boil in the last few years. But he seemed like he was coming back to his best against Villa. So I think that's another player we should be monitoring.
I fully agree. I think the reason why he shouldn't be brought in now is because obviously we're looking to monitor the Newcastle side, but also there are a lot of good midfield options, I think. The reason why we're thinking of Saint-Maximin and Chris Wood is because the forward range, that bracket there there's not a lot of quality. Lacazette maybe. That's about it, right? And think about the premiums like Kane and Ronaldo, but mid-range, not that much. Yeah. So, if you're planning to play your free hit maybe in 28, he's definitely worth the consideration. And if he does look pretty good against West Ham, you can maybe ship him in 27 so that you can have him for both 28 and 29. But that's because, there's so many good, pretty decent midfield options to go for who have doubles as well, playing for stronger teams. Yeah, that's probably why I haven't really thought of Fraser, but he's definitely, as everyone else is, worth a consideration.
Okay. Some of the other fixtures, they don't have a double in 28 and 29, but they do have at least one. Tottenham, they have a nice fixture in 28, to be fair, against Everton. And then they go into the United and Brighton, right?
Yep.
Man United and Brighton fixtures. That's those three games. You can see something at Brighton, even United. From an attacking point of view, you can see Spurs getting something surely. And Everton, I still don't know what to make of them, to be fair.
I know what you mean. I think in the last game, who did they play the last game? Sorry, I completely forgot.
Who's that? Everton.
I think they played. Was it Everton?
Who are you talking about?
Wolves? Spurs, yeah. So Spurs played Wolves.
Yeah.
Wolves, and I saw somewhere that they failed to register some sort of big chance involvement or something like that. And that really put me off because, I was thinking of doing Kane. I was thinking of bringing in Kane, and Son is just as good as an option. Yeah. I think it's just hard to tell at the moment. Like you said, the Leeds and the Everton game, those are good matches for them, single matches for them to work on and possibly give us something to think about. But that's kind of why I think a lot of drafts you see out there, they tend to lack a bit of Spurs. It's just really hard to wow, I'm really tripping on my words here, but it's hard to make of anything from this Spurs side at the moment. Despite the two doubles.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think it's just, a team that's struggling in the moment. Besides your Kane and Son, who else is going to start up there? You got Kozlowski, you got Mora, you got Bergwijn, and they could all rotate. And that's from an attacking, even at the back. Sometimes Reguilon plays, sometimes he doesn't. It's just there's no one you can look at besides Kane and Son and say, yeah, they're nailed on. They're going to play in every week. So it is a tough one. So I think if you're looking at Spurs assets, I mean, it's definitely something to monitor. I mean, like you said, they've got 3 games in 28 and 29. They've got a double this week, so that could give us a bit of an indication. I mean, have you ever looked at Spurs assets for this week? I mean, they're so. I mean, I've seen Son in a few teams, but apart from Son, you don't really hear much talk of other Spurs assets for this week.
I like I mentioned earlier, I considered Kane, and Kane, I think statistically is still best for forwards for, I think it's goal involvement, something like that, registering big chances.
Yeah,
it's just a shame it hasn't translated into actual returns. So
yeah,
he's definitely still worth considering. I guess the double game week is a good chance for him to prove that. I guess eye test wise, Kane has definitely been very unlucky because he gets in the positions, he has those chances, but hasn't been able to tuck them away. I think owners have been pretty frustrated as well. I would be pretty frustrated if I was an owner because those should be returns. But yeah, I think I'm going without a Spurs asset for now, and we'll see how it goes.
Thank you. And then obviously we see they also have the additional game in 30, which is always good to see if you bring in a Spurs asset this early on. Just moving on down there, Liverpool obviously double this week. Fantastic fixtures. If you're not triple captaining Salah, you better be triple captaining Trent. I mean, you have to just use that chip this week. There's no two ways about it. But straight after that, they obviously blank in 27. They're going to 28 and 29 with 3 games as well. They play West Ham in 28. They play Brighton and Arsenal in 29. Decent fixtures still. It's not. I mean, it is Liverpool at the end of the day, right? So I think, I think 90% of the league that they face, you're fancying their chances to get some sort of returns.
Yes, absolutely. I think if you have, I think a lot of people will be looking to free hit in 27. And so that's a good time if you do have your free hit intact, it's a good time to load up on those Liverpool assets. That way you have them locked and loaded ready for 28 and 29 and possibly for the rest of the season.
And then, that's good. We're going to move on down there to the rest of the announcements. In terms of double game, Newcastle, obviously we touched on, they got a double, but they don't play in 30. Just scrolling down, Aston Villa. Now, Aston Villa, Southampton and Leeds in 28, and then West Ham in 29. I mean, you got to be licking your lips there, surely.
Yes, I have Dina, and I think a lot of people have been looking at Coutinho. Villa, they have a pretty decent run of fixtures, and of course the double in 28 is very, very tasty as well, and they don't blank in 30. So
yeah,
honestly, good long-term picks.
That 30 fixture isn't confirmed. Oh, it is. Sorry, against Arsenal. We're going to scroll down a little bit more. So for Villa, Coutinho, Ramsey, Watkins. I'm hearing rumors he's not playing today. They're going to go with Ings up front. So there's a bit of uncertainty for his place. Digne, maybe another name we got to consider. Just scrolling down to Southampton, and again, Southampton, not bad fixtures either. Aston Villa, Newcastle. They got Norwich in 27. Straight off the top of my head, I'm thinking Broja. I'm thinking James Ward-Prowse, maybe. Che Adams, if you really need to.
Okay.
I mean, what do you think of their fixtures?
There's a really good run of fixtures. I have Broja, and Broja has been that asset who is very easy to bench, but he makes it frustrating because he does tend to bag a return here and there. And I'm just like, I'm not going to get those points today. But yeah, if you have, I think Broja is arguably the standout option. James Ward-Prowse as well has been very good from set pieces. One of the best free kick takers at the moment. Shout out to Swang. So
in
this
the history,
fixture,
in the history of the Premier
bro,
League, I'd say.
yeah, you got to give it to him. It's actually he's really good. He's been very, very good with it. So you have to respect it. But yeah, very good fixture run for Southampton, and I think Broja is the standout pick from the Southampton side.
Everton in 28, they play Spurs, and then in 29 they have Wolves and Newcastle. Tasty too on paper, but we still don't know what to expect from this Everton side.
Yes, absolutely. The double looks really good. As a Gray owner, I'm not blinded too much because I really want to get Gray out of there. I think he's out for a little while, so I'm not too keen on holding him when I could get probably some better players for the long run. And as you said, Craig, we don't really know what to expect from this Everton side. They're off of a 3-0 win, I believe, off of the last fixture against Leeds. So the confidence might be there, but we still need a little bit more.
Okay. And they don't have a fixture in 30 as of yet. That could potentially change. We don't know. There are rumors that some more fixtures are going to be added to this, by the way. We will wait on that. Brighton play Liverpool and Tottenham in 29. We're not going to talk about that. We're just going to skip that. Brentford, no. Leicester, no. And that's really... Oh, we got Chelsea down at the bottom. Chelsea have a massive, massive backlog of fixtures with cancellations with their the World Club Championships, if that's what it's still called. But they've got just a bunch of games that need to be played, and they haven't even been confirmed for it in 28 yet. I mean, Arsenal is what we're expecting, but there's been no confirmation. When are they going to play these fixtures?
I don't know. I'm not Ben Crellin, so I wouldn't be the expert on this. But aside from the fact that they still have fixtures in hand, I think it's also important to remember that their run of fixtures at the moment is actually pretty good. We got Crystal Palace, they blank, and then it's Burnley, Newcastle, Norwich, Brentford, and Southampton. It's a full stretch of pretty okay fixtures. So all our attention is focused on the doubles, and as we should be, because doubles are where we can get pretty good points and you take full advantage of them. But it's also important not to ignore some of the single game weeks. Chelsea is a good example. City are a good example as well, arguably the best team at the moment. And they have a pretty decent run as well. No doubles, but they do have some pretty good single fixtures as well.
Yeah, perfect stuff. I think that wraps up all the announcements that we were given yesterday. Like I said, it was a chock-a-block of information to kind of process and absorb, and it just got really hectic just before the deadline when you were thinking about what transfers you were going to make. But yeah, we hope we've clarified all of that for you. We hope we've made it easier for you to understand. We will go into more detail as the weeks come on. So this is not it. We still have a lot more information as it comes. But for now, we're going to keep on focusing on this double game week 26, which is the deadline's in about an hour. So Nitro, don't forget your changes.
Oh yeah.
If you haven't played your chips, please don't forget to play them if you are intending to. I just want to talk to you a little bit about strategy now. I'm going to keep this up here. And I'm going to talk chip strategy, players to target. We've briefly mentioned already, but let's talk about the chip strategy. Triple captain, obviously, in double game week 26, which is coming up. There is a blank in 27. Are you one of those that are free hitting, or do you have enough in your squad to see it through, to ride the storm, save that free hit chip, and play it further down the line, especially in game week 30?
Yeah, I think as I kind of touched on earlier, I was going to free hit in 27 because I had the likes of Ronaldo and I have the likes of Liverpool and Arsenal players who both of them blank in 27, and I'm loaded up heavily on them. So it would make sense, right, to kind of look elsewhere. But if I look at my team, if I'm not mistaken, I'm able to field 9 playing players without touching it. So provided they are not injured, I think I can field 9 players, if I'm not mistaken. Then let's do that right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9 players that play in 27. And then I have 1 free transfer, so I can I'm looking to swap Gray out for someone who plays.
Okay.
So I can actually field 10. I can actually field 10 players. And if that's the case, I don't know if the free hit is necessary anymore, because 10 players in a blank game week is honestly all right. And the free hit can be used later on. I think Ben Krellin in his tweet mentioned that free hitting in either 28 or 29, when we have a lot of doubles, actually might not be the best idea, because if you obviously can't play consecutive free hits.
Free hits, one after another.
Correct. Right. So because actually his tweet here says you might not want to free hit in only one of double game week 28 or blank game week 30, because these 3 teams will double in 28 and play in 30. So he's talking about Wolves, Villa, and Leeds assets. So with that in mind, I don't really know when the free hits are going to come in. I might still play it in 28. I might still play it in 28. I might still play it in 30. In fact, 30 is probably where one of the free hits will be used.
Yeah,
the second one,
I think it's hard not to play it in 30. I mean, I think that's easy saying it now because we don't have the information as well. I mean, they're all question marks, right? I mean, does this go in there? Does this go in there? I mean, everything's subject to not just announcements, but I think the FA Cup comes into play, doesn't it? And it's how far teams go in the next round. So that's going to have a huge bearing on game week 30. So it's one of those where we just have to just be patient and just see how that progresses. But I mean, in terms of in chips, obviously, I mean, 27, there is an opportunity to play it. But like you said, if your squad's good enough, if you've built up a squad that's good enough to navigate that with, 9 to 10 to 11 or 9 to 11 players, I mean, got really nothing to worry about, do you? And then you go into the doubles, and then obviously some teams might want to play it, play that free hit chip there. Some might not, but 30 definitely. So I mean, just your take on it. You are planning to save that free hit chip in 27 now.
Yes, I was initially going to play it. I think at the moment 30 is where one of them will be played. The second one maybe a double game week further down the road.
Yeah,
I think
it is important to remember this is not the only double weeks that we're going to have, right? I mean, there's a big one in 36, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and I think that one though, I'll be trying to use my wild card to set up for a bench boost. So maybe a wild card in 35 and then a bench boost in 36. And then I'm pretty certain we're going to have some other double that is in 36 beyond game week 30. So that's where the second free hit might happen.
Okay,
perfect. Yeah, we'll have to see.
Yeah, and place target. We already mentioned the key ones in the game weeks of 28 and 29. So if you haven't seen it already, do a scroll back later and have a look. All right, Nitro. First of all, thanks to Ben Krellin for doing all this hard work. An amazing spreadsheet as always. Sorry we pinched it, but it was just too good to not use. We're going to go and we're going to take some questions from the community. I know they've been hounding the comment section, and I've literally just blanked them throughout the whole show. But we'll give them a bit of time. And yes, I haven't forgotten about the transfers that you have to make, Nitro. So don't worry about the clock as well. You'll have enough time. First of all, Honey Ryan. Hiles, my plan is taking hits -12 and use my wild card further down the line. Triple captain on Salah, hoping that can offset the hits with my other transfers getting enough points. And I think we touched on this as well. I mean, there's no, it's a double game week. There's loads of double game weeks, and as long as you're bringing in, players, for the double game week or the future ones, you should be all right with the -12, right?
Yes, and we talked about this quite a bit. Craig, you've said it absolutely right. If you're taking the -12, make sure the -12 is like you're bringing in players that are worth it, because you think of it as debt. You're bringing in players that should be able to repay your debt over a short span of maybe hopefully 4 game weeks, right? So you're bringing in people like Arsenal players who double twice in a span of 4 game weeks, which should hopefully offset your hits, right? I want to make it clear that I considered a -12, and I'm not. I would say I'm like 10% willing to do it, but I'm not fully against it. I see people doing it. I'm like, it's fine, provided the players you're bringing in is okay. I'm just kind of stubborn with my hits. I just don't like the look of a -12, but it's all in the logic. You're kind of taking it now so that when they start returning later, it's a return on investment. And you've mentioned a good point as well. Triple captain on Salah. I mean, yeah, because if you play your wild card, you can't triple captain Salah. So yeah, it's a completely fair.
And it'll be mad not to.
Yes, we keep saying that because fixtures are good and it's Salah.
You got to get everyone on our side to kind of. Anyway. So how do you hope that answers your question? MX Cross, Justin, Sufal, Fernandez, Jota, and Antonio to Saiz, Salah, Saka, and Antonio. Not sure. I mean, that must have been someone else. I'm guessing might have been like Virgos or something. Anyway, do let us know which striker you brought in for Antonio. Are these transfers good? Well, my straight up answer to that is that you've already made them. So doesn't matter what we think anymore.
Yeah, I hope they're good.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Sorry, he corrected himself actually down here. Sorry for Jimenez.
Okay.
So I think, Saiz, Salah, Saka, Jimenez. I mean, that's a really good -8 hit. I think.
I fully agree because these are teams that double this game week and they also double later down the road. So it should definitely pay off the -8. And the fact that honestly, if you can take a -8 for this, it's kind of a blessing because if I had to do this, it would be a -12. So good on you. And I think the players are great because we mentioned Wolves defensively very good. Saiz also has a pretty good goal threat. Salah, less said the better. Saka doubles, and he's I think the best Arsenal midfielder he can go for. And Jimenez, pretty good differential. I think Wolves attacking wise, I haven't seen much from, but Jimenez did score the other day, so hopefully he can continue that.
Nice. So yep, on the right path there, MX Cross. I think you're on for a decent week ahead and future weeks as well. Astrolicious, hello. Good to see you as always on here. We always look forward to seeing you on the streams. MX Cross, my team after the transfers: Foster, Cancelo, Tierney, Trent, Saiz, Salah, triple captain, Bowen, Saka. I'd say switch the vice captain to Trent, I would say, rather than saying that. I mean, Salah's going to play anyway, so it makes no difference. Rafinha, Jimenez, King, and bench De Gea, Watkins, Foden, Cucurella. That's a really good squad, actually.
It's a good squad. It's a very good squad.
I really like that squad. Really do. Good stuff. I mean, Watkins, obviously, there has been tweets that he's not going to be starting tomorrow. It's going to be Danny Ings instead. So definitely something to consider if you have some transfers free or you're willing to take a hit. Hellway says, should I bench Ramsey or Dennis? Got a feeling that Dennis will blank again in double game weeks. Got to play the double game week player. Always have to play the double game week player.
Yeah, give the Watford guys one last shot, and if they don't deliver, that's an excuse for you to ship them out. Yeah, but to be fair, Ramsey's single fixture is pretty good at home against Watford. But
it is.
Yeah, I think Craig is right. I mean, the double is there, right? You gotta hope he doesn't get another red card. That's it.
Yeah. I mean that how I like it too is exactly what as a Bruno captainer or even a Ronaldo captainer. Against Southampton, you got a blank. And you're just like, oh God! And then going into the next fixture, you just randomly get something in the 97th minute. So everything's good, and you get green arrows all around. So definitely play the double game week player. I mean, for me, Sean Wangshi, I like Brozier. I like him too.
I think this is swing.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure it's swing.
He's
even got the Ferrari in his. I like Brozier too. I really like him. He's annoying sometimes, but I like him.
He's such a good player. I was at Old Trafford last week and watched him play live, and what a player!
you got to see him.
Yeah, but
he's watch him live.
He's strong, he's quick, he's got good feet. I mean, I think everyone saw how he turned or spun Maguire. Now this kid's the real deal. He really is, and he's got it'd be interesting to see if Southampton can get him away from Chelsea on a permanent basis as well. But I like Brogier's fixtures. I like Southampton's fixtures rather in the coming game weeks. So definitely a player I'm looking to bring in at some stage. Hadi Ryan, should I transfer? Oh, who should I transfer out for Laka? Watkins or Antonio?
Oh,
that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Well, it's tough because now we know that Watkins is not going to play this week. I mean, that's what the intel tells us. But in terms of who I'd rather have right now, I mean, Antonio's been blanking for so long that it's really got to me. I mean, I got rid of him last week, I think it was, but it was just annoying me so much. Fair to remember that Watkins had a goal disallowed against Newcastle. It was very marginal. So, I mean, he's still thereabouts. Probably not as productive as we'd like to see if you're a Watkins owner like myself. And the news coming out from the Villa training ground is that he's not playing this week. So, based on this week, I gotta say Watkins would be the one that goes. But long-term wise, I'd rather keep Watkins than Antonio, especially with the doubles.
I agree as well. I also think it's important to remember that Antonio, West Ham's fixtures do kind of look a bit shaky from here on out after the Newcastle fixture. So, and then, I mean, Villa's fixtures are pretty decent, apart from the fact that they have a double as well. So, I know the security of starts for Watkins isn't there, but there's a bit of logic with the fixtures and the doubles. So, I would probably transfer out Antonio.
Right. Okay. Perfect stuff. I think we agree on that there. I like Brozier too. He's a menace. He absolutely is. He is a menace. And he's got that face where you just don't want to mess around with him.
Yeah. Honestly, I thought I was the only one who thought that. He does look a little aggressive.
Roger Shane says, any reason why KDB is highly sold? To create funds to bring in Salah.
It's probably because of Salah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think with Salah out for AFCON and not everyone rushing to bring him in immediately after he returned, I think, KDB and Bruno, they were all like placeholders in teams. And you got your returns from KDB, to be fair. So I think now, obviously, with the double game week that Liverpool have coming up, it's about, creating those funds to bring in Salah, and whether that's Ronaldo out, whether that's KDB out, or whether that's Bruno out, they're all going out, to create that space for Salah. So that's the only thing I can think of. Agree?
Yeah, I agree as well. But KDB could be a pretty good differential, though.
He is. I honestly, I mean, they got some tasty fixtures coming up as well. I mean, I think this week was it Spurs, right?
It's Spurs,
yeah. Yeah, so it's a bit. I mean, hit and miss. You don't know what Spurs is going to turn up. It could be a really good Conte performance. It could be a Spurs collapse. As we've seen in recent times. So you just don't know what to get from it. So not something I'm willing to risk with, especially with some of the games that are going on. Also, Roger Shane asks us, ain't Nori to Saiss or Tierney?
What does the rest of your team look like, Roger? Because Nori himself, I mean, is he nailed? I'm pretty sure he's nailed, right?
Who's that?
Let's see.
Who's nailed? Nori?
Nori.
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
I think
doesn't he rotate with Markal?
Oh. I would say Nori is a little bit more nailed.
Yeah.
If you're willing, Roger, feel free to share the rest of your team. I mean, because it's kind of like a lateral transfer, which, I feel like if you can hold your transfers, hold your hits, it might actually be more power to you. But I can get why you want to do that, because Tierney doubles twice, right? And then Saiss has a pretty good goal threat and probably more nailed. So, the rest of your team if possible. But Nori, hey,
he's also asked this, by the way. Sorry, the next one. What to do with Jota and KDB to Luis Diaz, or that's a bit of risk, considering 28 and 29.
Ooh,
I think Luis Diaz is too much of an expensive gamble.
I agree. And I think we need to see a little bit more from him. And because like you could go for Salah. I mean,
because you still got Mane there, don't forget.
Right, yeah, Mane as well.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying Luis Diaz won't play one of those games. I think he will. But he's not going to be the nailed-on starter in both like Salah. I know that it's midfielders he's talking about, but I mean, if you could bring in Firmino at any opportunity right now,
right,
I probably would.
Yeah, I agree as well. I think we just need to see a little bit more from him. And also, as we kind of touched on earlier, there are so many decent midfield options. So, I think there's definitely players you can consider. 28 and 29, is it? 20 and 29.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Coutinho, who's there in the mix as well.
Coutinho definitely.
Yeah, Coutinho definitely. We kind of talked about Fraser. Definitely give it a few matches before you bring him in, but definitely worth looking at because he doubles.
What about Spurs? Spurs got some kind of fixtures or Son.
Right. Son as well if you can afford him. And then there's a lot of options you could go for, but that's
okay,
something to consider. Move on. Yes.
Hi Vincent, how are
Hello,
you?
Vincent.
Always good to see you on the stream as well. We'll give him a bit of help with his team. I'm on a -4 already. Would you take 2 more hits to get Virgil van Dijk and Tierney instead of playing King and Dennis, who have doubles, by the way? And then his team would then be Foster, Trent, Cancelo, Digne, Virgil, Tierney, Salah, Bowen, Son, Saka, Weghorst, and on the bench, King, Dennis, De Gea, and Trossard.
Hold on. Back into the previous one, he said, I'm on a -4 already, which take 2 more hits to get instead of playing. Oh, okay. I thought he was going to swap King and Dennis out. And if you go back to his team,
so he's basically benching King and Dennis, who both have doubles as well.
You see, I really like this team. Right, realistically, I really like this team. In fact, if I could, I wouldn't mind having this team. But I don't know if it's worth the extra.
I mean, you gotta see because he's got Foster double game week, Trent double game week.
Right.
So it's Cancelo and Digne that don't have double game weeks. Sorry, it'd be easier that way. Cancelo and Digne don't have double game weeks. Bowen doesn't have a double game week. So he's got 3 players there that don't have a double game week that he's playing in his first 11. He's playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a back 5. So he can play King and Dennis for Cancelo and Digne. And then he gets extra game week players, double game week players. So. But then he's gone very Watford heavy, right?
Yeah.
But like I said, if you have these players already, you have to play them, in my opinion.
I think it's an unpopular opinion, but I would give the Watford forwards one last try. The double is actually okay.
Or at least one of them.
At least one of them. At least one of them. If you take a -8, then swap one of them out. That's fine. I don't know who you'd go for, Lacazette, right? But like what Craig said, you have them, right? And honestly, taking a -4 is probably going to hurt you quite a bit already at the start. So
I would play if it was up to me. I think I would probably play. I'd play King just because he's on pens ahead of Digne.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I'd do the same.
I think so. Yeah.
I think I'd do the same as well.
Well, just because you're playing them off against each other, right?
Yeah.
It's Digne.
It's a tough one, Vincent. It's a tough one.
It's Villa versus Watford, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you don't want to bring on a striker for, a Villa defender because you're playing. They're squaring off. So, for me, that would make sense if you want to bring in one. But I don't know. You got a double game week play on the bench. I don't know. It just doesn't sit right with me. But that's just me anyway. Yeah, up to you. It's a good problem to have, Vincent. But yeah, I think our advice is that you probably have to play one of King and Dennis. And for me, just because of penalties, King would be the one. Yeah. Let's move on. Honey Ryan, replacement for Region. Rumors are that he has COVID. Oh, really? I haven't seen this.
I saw that too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't see Conte's press conference actually. Now that's brought up, did he mention it on there or?
Oh, I didn't hear from the press conference. I just heard rumors.
All right, let me give a. Well, you help him come up with a with a player. Let me just go see if there's any information about this.
Well, Hadi, there are a lot of good replacements for Regulon. I would definitely maybe double up on a Liverpool defender. Everyone has Trent, I would assume. So the likes of Virgil van Dijk or Robertson, whichever one you feel have more confidence in. I've personally gone for Van Dijk for the security of starts, but Robertson's definitely more explosive. Arsenal defenders, you got Gabriel, who has a really good goal threat. Arsenal are pretty good at set pieces as well. And if not, then you can go for Tierney, right? And then, of course, we got the Wolves defenders. You can choose a lot from there. You have Size, who is my standout pick. He's got really good goal threat. Kilman, pretty good too. And budget, very good value. And Cody, if you're going just for the starter, right? But if you have funds, go for Size. But yeah, we got a lot of options there to replace Regulon. Wolves, Arsenal, and Liverpool defenders for your consideration.
Yeah. So just reading what was mentioned, Conte in his press conference confirmed that one of the players has COVID. He didn't reveal who, but Region was not seen in training from the training pictures. So make what you want out of that. If you can, and I can't remember if he's told us already, to be fair, earlier on. I'm just going to scroll up. So he hasn't made his hits yet, as far as I know, Hadi Ryan. But his plan is to take him -12. I think Region would have to be part of that -12, I would say. Because, I mean, if he's got COVID, it's 10 days out? So unless he's playing his free hit in 27, so he can get away with it. And by the time that, the double game weeks come around for Spurs, the second lot, then Region will be fit and he can get away with him being on the bench. It's the only way I can think about it. If you want to say.
And Hadi, as a fellow Regulon owner, I have to say in the last few game weeks, he has been pretty lackluster, to say the least.
He didn't play one of them, did he?
He didn't play. He didn't play two. That's so annoying.
Yeah, he didn't play two. Yeah.
He didn't play two. So I totally get your pain. That's why he's one of the first ones off of my team, because since game week 20, there's been a lot of hype only for him to not really return much. So asset wise, he's definitely worth getting rid of. And now with this COVID rumor, I guess that's just another reason to sell.
Okay. We'll move on. Theo says triple captain Mo without. Who's this?
It's facts. Triple captain Mo. He said it.
Definitely. I mean, there's no other option in my opinion, and there's no better week to play the chip. So yeah, if you still have it, go for it. Roger Shane says Jacob Ramsey, Harrison, Gordon, and Ait-Nouri. What are your thoughts on them? I like Ramsey.
I think it's just, for me, I like Ramsey and Ait-Nouri. The other two.
Sorry. Let me just go on to the second part of the question. Better to leave any transfer to last minute considering alert effect of Storm Eunice. Well, it's not going to get any later than this. You've got half an hour to make those transfers. So, yeah, I mean, if there's no news, then we just assume that the games are going ahead. So that's the best. Everyone will be in the same boat as you. But as of now, I don't think any games have been called off or anything. I'm just going to do a quick check on Sky Sports. But actually, I'm going to leave you with this question here, and you can probably help him out while I just check if there's any postponements to games so far.
Yeah, I like Ramsey and I like Ait-Nouri. Those are the only two I'd actually consider. The other two, Everton, like we said, we need just a little bit more. I just need to see what we can expect from this Everton side. And then Harrison, I mean, if you can get Rafinha, I would probably prefer him. And in terms of leaving transfers last minute, I mean, it's kind of funny I'm saying that because I haven't made my transfers, but definitely not to the very, very last minute because we've seen in the past the site can be quite overburdened with traffic. So just to avoid that crashing and losing out on your transfers. But like Craig said, like I think it should be fine. And if it does actually like postpone anything, which would be a shame, then a lot of other players will be in the same boat as well. It's out of our control. Let's just do what we can to control what we can control.
Yeah,
so far, nothing has been postponed, I think.
No, nothing. Nothing's been postponed. So I think it's safe to assume that the games are going ahead. So don't let Storm Eunice and affect any of your transfers. As I said, I'm up north. I'm in Manchester. I can't see a storm. I haven't seen a storm. I've seen wind. I've seen a bit of snow last night, but nothing to suggest that that any of the games will be postponed. Although, as I'm saying that, I can see. I think it's rain coming down. I think it's just rain. I'm in Manchester, so it's obviously rain. Yeah. Don't let Storm Eunice affect any of your decisions, and I think like George helped you out with your thing. Joseph Yo, triple captain Salah, yes. Don't think he needs to. Don't need to think about it. Will he get rotated, or is he still good to turn down? I think it's plain and simple. Yeah, I think Salah plays both games, starts both games at least. Whether he plays the full 180 minutes is maybe not so likely to play 180, but I think between about 160 minutes, I think we should be good.
Yes. And I think we've seen in the past that Salah doesn't exactly need 90 to produce returns. So provided he plays anything, I think we're good. He's just so good right now.
Yeah. I think when you look at Liverpool from an attacking point of view, and when I say attacking point of view, I'm talking about the fullbacks as well. To be fair, Salah, I think the risk of rotation is very slim. Jota, we know, is out, so we know Firmino's playing, and I think seeing the severity of Jota's ankle and they mentioned ligaments and things like that, swelling. I think he's out for both games. To be honest with you. So I think Firmino probably plays both games. I mean, scored against Inter. Hasn't played a lot of football this season because of Jota's form. So I think he's going to be fresh. So he'll probably play both games. Mane, and I've seen people bring Mane in, and I'm not sure he's nailed. I'm not sure he's nailed anymore because of Diaz. I think Diaz has done well since he's come on. Don't forget, we're forgetting the likes of Minamino, Harvey Elliott. I know he plays in a more central position, but he's an option player at wide. Oxlade-Chamberlain, they've got options. So I think out of the three of them, Mane is probably the most vulnerable at the moment to rotation. I think you're good if you have Salah. If you want to take a gamble, I think Firmino is a great gamble this game week. To be honest with you, I know he's not a prolific goal scorer or anything, but I know he's got to fancy his chances, right, to get at least a couple of goals somewhere. Robertson, I think, will only play one of them, in my opinion. I think he only plays one. I think Trent is nailed. But these are my opinions. Where the clock feels the same way, we'll find out. But triple captain Salah, definitely yes.
Yeah, I agree so too. With the Mane thing, I think there's a question later down the road about Mane versus Minamino. I would still pick Mane, but as you said, like Mane, I don't think he's nailed either. That's why I've kind of gone with Van Dijk for my third Liverpool player because he should be safe, I would hope, right? But otherwise, like Mane, if he plays, like he's a good differential, So yeah, between the two, Mane and Minamino, a bit of humor there from Joseph, but yeah, I would definitely go Mane over Minamino in those two.
Okay. Choices. There we go. Go, Sadio Mane. Again, I'm not sure if he plays both games. I think Diaz will start one, in my opinion.
I agree. I think so too.
If I'm not mistaken, I can't remember. I think it was against Burnley. Klopp took Mane off and he mentioned that he looked a bit fatigued.
Oh, really?
So I don't know if that after playing the Champions League, maybe he sees one of these games as a good rest period for him and let Diaz play. So that'll be interesting. But I don't think Mane plays both games. But my opinion anyway. I think that brings us to the end of the questions. I'm going to let you crack on with your team, and we'll just see. I want to do this live, by the way. So
okay.
I just want to see if there are any more questions that come in as we head towards the last 25 minutes of till the deadline. We'll see if any more questions pop up for Nitro to answer. We'll let him focus on his team for a bit and just get a little insight to see what he's going to do, if he's changed his mind over the course of this show, or if he's sticking to his guns, as he initially said at the start of the show.
I've stuck to my gun. So we've done David De Gea to Ramsdale. This was Reguilon to Van Dijk. I think I took a sneak peek on Twitter, and I mean I don't know who it was from, but I did see that Simicast posted on his story that it's just a graphic of him. I don't know how true it is or not, but I guess it could allude that he might be starting, which could be bad for Robertson owners. I mean, we've talked about it over and over again. Van Dijk is just the safest option in the defense, I guess, next to Trent. And Van Dijk's threat isn't that bad either. And then finally, we've done Jota to Saka. Hold on, right there. Boom. So it's a -8 with a little bit in the bank. I think I'm ready to go. Yes, we're going to do that. We're going to do that. Okay, let's go. -8. Whoa.
Done it?
All right, that is the team. We got Ramsdale, Trent, Dina, Cancelo, Van Dijk, Salah, triple captain, Bowen, Saka with the vice, Broja, King, and Ronaldo. The benches, these guys. Not bad either, Dallo and Trossard, but the players starting, I prefer. That's the team.
I know it doesn't make a difference, but is there any reason why?
Vice captain?
Yeah, vice captain. Why is it not on Trent? I know it doesn't make a difference because Salah's going to play at least 1 minute. So
true. Oh,
it would make sense to put about. I mean, I know we're so confident you can put it on. You can put it on your bench for but I just wondering why people do that. Like, I just want to know.
Yeah, so it would make sense to put on Trent because he's should be nailed as well, and there's a very high chance of 2 clean sheets. But the reason I put on Saka is because both of their fixtures don't clash. So in the crazy event that one of those fixtures, the Liverpool fixtures, gets postponed or they don't play at all, then Saka Saka should play, hopefully. But then again, it could be vice versa as well. Saka might not.
So they're playing today, Liverpool, 3:00. So
right.
I think we're okay. But I get the thinking behind that. I get the thinking. I might just do the same now, just to be safe.
I totally get it. It would give me a peace of mind to put on Trent as well. But it's a vice captain, right? So
yeah, fair enough. Like I said, up this way, it's all right. I'm not sure in Liverpool though. Let's see if we can get some weather updates in Liverpool.
Weather updates. Now we got to check the weather as well. Oh, my goodness.
Because it's not too far from here, but they're more by the coast.
Right.
So wind is about 30 miles per hour, which is all right. It's not crazy. Saturday 11. Yeah, I think we should be okay.
Well, we can only hope.
Yeah. I think we're good. Not great weather, but yeah, should be all right. Anything you'd like to add before we get off, guys? If you're still watching, if there's any questions, do pop them in the last couple of minutes so Nitro can answer them. But if not, we're good till the end of the deadline.
If you got more questions and the stream ends, Twitter is where you can find us. I just want to say as well, it's a double game week. Have fun. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be dramatic. Going to be ups, going to be downs, but let's enjoy it. It's just a part of the game. And hope the hits pay off. All the best for double game week 26.
Yep. We still got some questions coming in, by the way.
Okay.
Ryan, last question. Should I play Brownhill or Webster? Neither.
Wow.
Neither.
I mean, Brown does Brownhill play?
Doing...
Does he play?
They
Because
don't
he has
have
a double. Webster doesn't.
Brownhill
so...
does, but you don't want to play Brownhill. I mean, it's literally like
true.
4 points there. So, I mean, 2 points there. Sorry. I don't know.
I mean, we do take 4 points.
Have you played your -12 already? Have you done your -12 transfers already? Or show us your team. Show us your team.
Yes, Hadi.
Yeah, put your team up so we can look at it. Because if you're taking a -12, I don't see why you have to play one of them.
That's a good point.
Put your team up, Hadi, and then we'll have a look at it and see what you've got.
But if you really must, I don't know. Webster played Burnley. Maybe Webster, despite the single game week.
Yeah?
Maybe. Didn't he?
Just want to ask you, has there been any temptation to play, put the armband on Trent, by the way?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Not sure if I asked you that, but I was thinking about it at one stage.
I don't know. That's just kind of a thing I've learned since COVID and how postponements happen. I just try to diversify it a little bit because...
No, I meant like the actual triple captain armband, not the vice.
Oh, not the vice. No, it's definitely Salah. I have a thing against captaining defenders. It's just a weird thing I have. I'm just not the biggest fan. Unless it's like super obvious.
Foster, Trent, Cancelo, Tierney, Webster, Saka, Bowen, Salah, Fernandez, Laka, Broja, Subs, Watkins, Brownhill, Livramento.
That's a bit tough.
It is. Yeah. I mean, the only thing I think that screwed him over is Watkins.
Yeah. Yeah.
Webster plays Burnley, does he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Tough one because Webster's pretty. He's a bit of a threat from set pieces as well, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I like him from set pieces. Yeah, I think that's all right.
I think I'll go with that too because at the end of the day, if he doesn't score or anything, I think there's a good chance of a clean sheet. So
yeah, I think it's just because Watkins, 90% is going to be on the bench. Brownhill doesn't get points, even though he has a double game week. He just doesn't get points. And Livramento, since he's come back from his injury, he hasn't really got his place back in the team, has he?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, I'm going to throw this out there, and I'm not sure how much funds you have, but if you can, maybe take Watkins out for someone like what's his name, Verkhorst, and just go with a -16, and at least you've got this guy for the next few weeks.
Or Jimenez, if you can afford him.
Oh, Jimenez, yep, Jimenez actually, yeah, if you can afford him. But I was just thinking low budget. Mm-hmm. Actually, no, if you can get Watkins out, Watkins and Jimenez shouldn't be too much of a price difference. Hadi Ryan, if you can take Watkins out for Jimenez and take, I know it's a -16, but it's a double game week for them as well. So either Verkhorst or Jimenez, if you can, and I think you're good to go. Bring them in for Webster, and you're good. But yeah, up to you at the end of the day.
All the best, Hadi.
All the best, Hadi. And I think that's it. I think we'll wrap it up there. Thanks for coming on and doing the stream with us, Nitro. I know it's coming up to 11 p.m. over there in Sydney.
It's actually 10 p.m.
Oh, he's actually done it. He's actually done it.
Let's go.
Let's go. Who did you bring in?
It's just a game.
Who did you bring in?
Thank you.
FPL, it's just a game. And it's very important to remember that as well, to be fair. Who did you bring in, for that -16?
Wait, let's hope it's Jimenez. We can only hope.
If not, just do it. Take a -20. It's fine. He's done it.
Nice.
He's
nice.
Done it.
All the best, Hadi. All
I
the
hope
best.
it pays off for you. I really do. I really do. And I don't think it's a wrong move, to be fair.
Yeah, I
really
don't think so
it's
either.
it's a wrong move. So all the best, Hadi. Good luck to it. Roger Shane, good luck to you as well. Double game week 26. Let's go. Let's go
Yes.
indeed. On that
Yes.
note, Nitro, I'm gonna let you go. And what is it? Did you say 10? 10 p.m.
15 minutes to 10.
15 minutes to 10. Okay, so you're 11 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's been a pleasure to come on. Thank you so much for having me. It's always good to talk. Exciting double game week. Let's enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yes, Hadi, update us. Keep us updated.
Yeah, he'll let us know after the double game week. Please do. We look forward to that. Yeah, thanks for coming on. Yeah, it's exciting times actually in FPL right now. You got this double game week with the triple captain going to be played. You got some exciting weeks ahead, which I'm sure we're going to get your insight to as they come. So yeah, again, thank you very much. Are you going to be watching any of the matches, or is
hopefully we'll see if they're at a good time. If not, I'll wait in the morning.
Okay, I mean, you're not going to watch a triple captain in action. Come on.
All right, that's true. I do want to watch him play.
Nah, thanks for coming on, and
we'll see.
all
We'll
the best
see.
for this game week. I wish you green arrows, like I do everyone else who's been on here and kindly watched the stream with us. Thank you so much. If you want to get more insight from Nitro, do follow him on Twitter. It's at FPL Nitro. If you haven't already, please do give us a like down below. Do subscribe to FPL Expectations. Follow us on Twitter as well. It's at FPL Expectations. And if you want to hear some of my insights, which I never give out, and they're not really expert insights, do follow me at Craig Morais11, where you hear a bunch of nonsense on my Twitter page. Thank you so much for joining the stream. It's been a pleasure. And as always, I wish you nothing but the best for this game week and green arrows all around. May the FPL gods be with you.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend. Bye.